Climate change damages cost the US a record $306 billion in 2017. Chihuahua's governor accuses the central government of withholding state funding over embezzlement probe, and video gaming may become an Olympic category with eSports reaching 500 million viewers. Hello and welcome to today's live edition of Mexico News Network's Breaking News. Elliot Bullman. Let's go straight to the information. Last year's average annual temperature in the United States was 12.6 degrees Celsius, about 1.5 degrees above the average of the 20th century and the third warmest year since records began in 1895. This provoked weather-related disasters that cost the country a record $306 billion. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's latest report highlights the economic risks of climate change, despite the fact that President Trump has begun to withdraw the United States from the Paris Agreement, a global pact designed to combat that. Wildfires that raged in the west of the country, plus Hurricanes Harvey, Maria, and Irma contributed to 2017 being the most expensive year ever recorded. The previous record was $215 billion in 2005, when Hurricanes Katrina, Wilma, and Rita battered the Gulf. Scientists have concluded that carbon dioxide and other emissions from fossil fuels are causing climate change, resulting in floods, droughts, and more frequent storms. Meanwhile, the Trump administration is ignoring these warnings and is determined to boost the production of oil, gas, and coal from the United States. In other news, Chihuahua's governor, Javier Corral, says the Federal Ministry of Finance is pressuring the northern border state because of its probe in of its governor, Cesar Duarte. Javier Corral is embroiled in a row with the federal government over millions of dollars he claims were promised last December to help fill budget shortfalls in his state, which is in the midst of a financial crisis. During a news conference on Monday in Mexico City, Mr. Corral said that the Federal Ministry of Finance is refusing to grant over $4 million as a result of an ongoing probe into embezzlement by Chihuahua's fugitive ex-governor, Cesar Duarte, who's believed to be hiding in the United States. The row has the potential to be explosive in the run-up to this year's elections. State prosecutors in Chihuahua are examining the alleged embezzlement of more than $10 million in public funds, which they allege were diverted by Duarte to federal government coffers to finance the campaigns of candidates from the president's ruling political party, the PRI. The case has already ensnared more than 24 people, including an ally of President Enrique Peña Nieto and a high-ranking member of his party, Alejandro Gutierrez, who's accused of operating an embezzlement scheme nationwide. Javier Corral says that in a recent meeting, the federal minister of finance openly asked him about the investigation and told him the funds he needs to save his state would not be transferred until there was more clarity about the case. Moving on, professional video game tournaments, also known as eSports, are already watched by some 350 million people around the world, and that figure is expected to reach 500 million by the end of 2019. Some of the world's largest companies are involved in the business. Sony has seen a boom in earnings thanks to the PlayStation 4. Amazon bought the Twitch streaming platform in 2014 for almost $1 billion, and there are more and more professional teams emerging around the planet. Such is the magnitude of this sport's global reach, even the International Olympic Committee is considering making it an Olympic sport. There are 2.5 billion video gamers in the world, and the segment is growing rapidly. For 2 decades, Alienware, which is part of Dell Computing, has been the leader in supplying hardware for the industry. Alienware has a key alliance with Team Liquid, one of the world's top professional video gaming teams, who in 2017 competed in 110 worldwide events where prize money was in excess of $20 million. Now let's turn to the markets. The Mexican peso increased 0.47% to 19.37 from 19.28 in the previous trading session. On the other hand, the IPC Mexico decreased 1.84% to 48,785 from 49,701 in the previous trading session. This was all for today. Thank you for staying with us. I'm Elliot Bullman. Remember to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and log on to MexicoNewsNetwork.com for more information on Mexico and the world. Until next time.